Anyway, though, there's a lot of stuff like, for instance, how much steel I had. I had a ridiculous amount of steel, and like even small portions of like even the recycling from the Bismarck was like a huge like billions of dollars worth of money. Like it was solid steel and it was really heavy and really thick and it's billions of dollars. So even recycling from like my Empire or White Star Alliance was like a lot of money. You know, I mean, it's a lot of steel. It's a lot of work that went in to make that steel. And like I was a very, very, very incredibly, insanely rich person, and they basically bankrupted Germany with inflation and all kinds of stuff. But Germany built a lot of stuff, and then they killed a bunch of German people, you know, to try and steal the money from them, you know, and then you know, but they're like, well, it's not really our money. It's Lucifer White Star Alliance money. You know, we're just paying the employees, which is what they were. So anyway, like I say, Nixon was trying to find, or JFK was trying to find corruption, but he was actually creating more corruption, and it was actually just this big scam. And realistically, he was petitioning on the part of the people. You know, that's all that the Richard Nixon was doing. And you know, he was never president. He went to Congress. He went to you know, all of them. They were going to Congress. They're going to Washington D.C. and it shows them going to Washington D.C. and sometimes it even shows them coming back with a check or something like that. That's supposed to go to the people or something like that, but it actually went into their pockets. Anyway, and then they cover up all that, and basically it's this big scam where they're just basically scamming the government, scamming the people of Earth, and scamming me mostly, and you know and you know, there's all this really bad stuff, and the whole thing was that Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, and a bunch of other people planned to blow up and kill everybody in America or around the world to cover up what they did. You know, and because they were 90 or so, and they're like, oh, who cares? You know, and they were going to kill everyone. The Republicans, the Democrats, you know, they were going to kill everyone. You know, they had done war crimes, they had done everything, and you know, once you're in so far, I guess you just might as well do it. So even Rodney, in a way, because he was Republican, Rodney was in on it, and a bunch of other people were probably in on it. You know, and those people, because of what they did, you know, because of all the death of everyone else, and not to mention everything they did to me, it's like this long 500 million long line. I mean, 800 galaxies. I mean, the other life forms that would happily do something on my behalf to just be like, hey, you know, we got that guy for you because I am the creator. You know, Richard Nixon would have to kill all of them too, and even tried. Like these people, they didn't just try and kill me. They didn't just try to kill everybody else. They tried to kill everyone that would possibly have anything to say about it. And so then they attacked them too. So, you know, it gets to the point where Jimmy Carter knew that JFK was going to get tortured and was going to get killed. And and Richard Nixon just figured if there's 30 clones of him and he doesn't look like the guy, but then if we found out, of course, that's a Secret Service agent, but it was actually Richard Nixon, I mean JFK, pretending to be Richard Nixon. We found that out too, and he thought that he was being so secretive or whatever, and of course we found out. So, um, you know, and then there's Rodney and all that other stuff and everything else like that. It's this big scam where basically they were, you know, they didn't create this huge planetary system. They didn't do anything. They just were just, I don't know, trying to live a good life, trying to lie. Anyway, like I say, in the end, I didn't really care. I was like, whatever, it's just stupid. You know, until they were going to kill me, and then of course that's assassination of not only the president but also a creator of 800 galaxies, and they had planned on destroying half the galaxy or something. Of course, it won't destroy half the galaxy; only destroy a third, and now they're guilty for that. You know, and then there's a third of the galaxy that's like, what the fuck? They're trying to put that on me again, but that really isn't on me. That's on others. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I had to deal with it. It was a part of my existence, and I was like, wow, this is just ridiculous. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't care. And then they're trying to petition on everything galactically or something like that. And it's just like, you guys are so insane. It's not even funny. You know, talk to one of the other life forms in the galaxy. I'm not even going to deal with it. You know, I'm the creator of 800 galaxies and stuff. You know, what they were doing and what Richard Nixon was doing and others were doing You know, just like they, just like after World War I and World War II, they sued and tried to kill and tried to execute the scientists who invented the steel and everything else for the ships and the cannons, and they're trying to say that they were guilty of for the war crimes or the war, and then they were trying to kill them and then put in patent their things to say that they had done it, so they'd killed off the people who had created it, and then we're just gonna move on into the factories and make money. And they're actually doing this legally, or trying to do it legally, and which just basically pointed more directions into them, like they actually tried to do it legally before they just walked in and shot everyone, which they later on did. So it's this huge thing where Roosevelt and the Republicans and the Democrats, they're not only going to die, like they're going to be tortured, their kids are probably going to be tortured, because they're all part of this great big huge thing where they actually tried to destroy most of the galaxy, or a good section of the universe of the galaxy or something. And they were trying to put it on me because I don't even know, like it's just crazy. Like Nixon's level of crazy is like up here, and Rodney's level of crazy is up here. I don't even want, I'm just the creator of 800 galaxies and the human life form type and inventor of a lot of things. I'm not responsible for the Republicans or the Democrats crazy. Like that is a level of free will and on them and on their children, and on their children's children. Like they wanted to do this thing. They thought they could do this thing. They came up with these plans. Them and their children are responsible, not me. So, they get to deal with it existence-wise. What we do with existence is up to the individual. I spent my 100 trillion years creating life and creating particles and furthering existence, basically. That's not my problem. I mean, that's what I did. I invented war and weapons to counter what was... Besides, it would be invented anyway, so I was like, I might as well have it and control it and try and stem the flow of death. But anyway, I mean, there's a lot of things when you're a creator or a leader of a race or a life form type or a planetary system, you have to make choices. And those choices always have consequences. And if you're a good creator or a good leader, then you care about what effect that has on your life forms and your planets. If you're just like elected to an office and sit in a chair, then you don't really give a fuck, and you basically just do whatever and kill things. I said, because I was real and everything else, I was able to do things. And mostly, like I say, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, and all of them, they were just taking credit, and they were trying to do eminent domain, but then couldn't do eminent domain, so they just walked in and shot people inside houses, and just threw them in the backyard, basically. And there's a lot of... I don't really know about the details, like I say. I just know a brief thing of how it interconnects and everything else like that. And it's like, oh, whatever. I did find out. We did find out. We picked everything apart until we found, dissected existence and Earth until we find, it was you. And you. And you. Are you O'Brien? No. Anyway, where it was like that, where it's like picking apart existence with some tweezers and going through it and dissecting it, and we did find the problems. I mean, I kind of knew because it was my cloning projects that led to JFK and Nixon and everything else like that. I just didn't know they were occupying or habitating. And it kind of said that some of them could live there or something, but I didn't know they were running around saying that they were president and leader of the country and trying to kill people. I didn't... the Secret Service kind of said something, but should have said more. I don't know why exactly. I mean, I said they could try being leader or whatever, but not actually that they couldn't affect the laws. But,